talk about a topic today, which is pretty simple. It'll apply to anybody, man or woman, but I'm going to make the conversation about men, which is how to bulletproof your 2017. Now, the idea of bulletproof itself doesn't mean that you don't fucking take shots. It doesn't mean that your life itself works out exactly the way you want it to every single time. To bulletproof your life in my world means that I ultimately create in 2017 the life that I actually desire and demand. It's not just the game of like, well, I'm going to kind of create this year versus what I did last year. All this creative idea, though, about being bulletproof 2017, having it all, living the warrior's way to having it all of this really has us ask a different question. And that question is, who gives a shit? Like, genuinely, like, do you actually give a shit? That is a question. The truth is, most people don't. Most people don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about having great marriages. They fight for good marriages. They don't give a shit about having great bodies at 40. They give a shit about having a good body they can walk around in. They don't give a shit about having deep purpose in life. They just kind of want to hope that things get taken care of and somebody else teaches their kids spiritually. They don't really give a shit so much about having great wealth. They want to have good wealth. And inside of that, back and forth and day to day and all over this place, we watch people selling out for greatness in replacement of goodness. One of the other things that begins to occur dramatically is that people come into a new year and they also believe that they can replace their reasons with results, that their results themselves can be displaced. That somehow I can say I'm going to do all these really big fucking things, but in the end of the day, the truth of what's really going to happen is I'm not going to do much different than I did last year. And so I'm going to have you consider this entire thing fucking changes one simple decision. Are you going to do something different this year than you did last year? Because it's impossible to have something different this year than you did last year if you keep doing the same shit you did last year. And in some cases, it's going to require you to do some radical different shit. You're going to have to think radically different than you did last year. You're going to have to do shit different than you did last year. You're going to have to tell yourself different stories. So all of my creative power comes down to one simple idea or concept, which was one that I didn't really know I was searching for back in 2009 when my life completely fell apart. It was the darkest, deepest place I'd ever been. My marriage was disconnected. I had just cheated on my wife. Like, shit was not working. Like, my fucking life was not working. Everything I built in business had faded away from 2000 to 2008. Like, nothing was working for me. I felt like God didn't listen to me, like I couldn't hear God. I didn't feel like my body. I literally had no certainty inside who I was. And so I sat there in that vulnerable place and I asked better questions. And one of the questions that came to me is, what's the point of my life? It's not going to be a new question. Not going to be a new question. But I'm happy to consider that answering that question sits at the foundation of how to bulletproof your 2017. Because see, the purpose that you see in your life and the point of your life actually drives why you choose to produce what you produce. I don't have to do a lot of the shit I'm doing. I don't have to do this show. I don't have to put this on every week. I don't have to have my crew here. I don't have to build our own social network powered by Facebook at warriorbook.com. We don't have to do all these things. I don't have to create this shit. There's a lot of ways I can make money. There's a lot of things that I do to make money outside of what we do here. I don't have to do it. But why do I do it? Because my life is framed up by a series of questions that I have very profound answers for me. One of which is the purpose of my life. So I'm going to have you consider that the purpose of your life comes down this. We're going to actually walk over to a whiteboard. So follow me. We're going to say hello to everybody here inside of one of our offices. I want to come over here and we're going to answer this idea. And we're going to say the purpose of my life actually comes down to one simple idea, and that is expansion. Now, what is expansion? Expansion is very simply going from who I am today and becoming more than I was today, tomorrow. It's this literal expansion of power, both in my mindsets and an expansion inside of my skill sets. Ultimately, an increase in my capacity.